Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my September favorites and fails. Can you believe it's almost Halloween, it's almost Thanksgiving and Christmas? I feel like this year has just like completely flown by, and I know like everybody says that, but like this is the year that I think it happened the quickest for me, and I haven't even started Christmas shopping yet, but there's like Christmas gifts, like sets and everything out already, and I usually start in July. Whew, and I'm behind, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start this video off with the things that I have been loving the most in the month of September. I have four, yes, four different eyeshadow palettes that I have been loving. One of them is a little bit of a cheat, but I don't care. I'm going to mention it anyway. I'm going to talk about the two that I've been using the most first. And that is, firstly, what I have on my eyes right now. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk eyeshadow palette. Oh my goodness, you guys, I went through my collection. I just went through it again and I can't find dupes. Like this shade right here, while it looks kind of light brown, this is what is all over my lid right now. Like it has this reddish tone to it that I can't find in my collection in like singles or palettes or anything. I can't dupe this out. I really did try for you guys and I was getting kind of agitated by it, but there's just subtle differences in this that I don't have in my collection. It's so wearable. It's so beautiful. This topper shade right here is stunning. I love it so much. I have been wearing this and the next one the most, but I wanted to go ahead and tell you, I know a lot of you guys have been, emailing Charlotte Tilbury. They're saying, no, it's only on our site and then it's going to be gone forever. They said that the Charlotte Tilbury gold palette, like the highlighting palette, was only going to be on their site, and now it's on Sephora. Before I left Nordstrom, it was in our books, like of what we were going to get. Obviously, I can't tell you that it's 100% certainty, but I would be willing to bet that you will see this palette again pop up in other retailers. We weren't supposed to get it at Nordstrom until spring. So just keep an eye out. There is still hope for the Pillow Talk palette. Next up, Tom Ford Cocoa Mirage. I have just basically been going between these two for my neutral looks if I want something a little bit more pinky toned or if I want something a little bit more on the brown side. Both of them I find to be a little bit more neutral, not too warm, not too cool, just like right in between. My favorite look with this is the one I did in my update. I put this all over the lid. I use this as my liner, and then I use this as my brow arch and inner corner highlight, and it's just so easy, and these basically blend themselves. Like those two palettes are just so worth the money in my opinion, and I absolutely love them. Now this is the one that I am cheating with a little bit, but I did have them for a few days before I did my review on them. And it is the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions. This is part of the Precious Stones collection, and I love this palette. I love it. I thought it was going to be the one that was a dud because purples are so hard. You have to go check out the video I did. The look with this that I got is just so good. The purples in here, I don't find any issues with them. Like, they work really well, and for $27, I don't think I would be as in love with it if it didn't have this center shade, because this center shade on the lid it made the entire look. I love this palette, highly recommend it. Again, especially for the price. People were asking me why I said this was limited edition, so I'm going to insert the picture on Sephora. So if you look at the other Obsessions palette, it says nothing about limited edition. These right above say limited edition. Now we all know limited edition can be said in the beginning and then it's not in the end, but when I said that, that was because of what was said on the picture. So just in case. It is actually limited edition. Get your hands on it if you are interested. And lastly, but most certainly not least, because this is my favorite out of all of them, it is also my favorite out of all of the palettes I have from her. And I'm talking about the Pat McGrath Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction. Holy jeez. I didn't think that Pat McGrath could get any better. Like, you couldn't go any further than what she had already done, but she did it with this palette. This is the palette. If you are willing to spend the $125, if there's one that I'm going to suggest, it is this one. It is unique. It is beautiful. All the shades work so well. This green is so unique and stunning on the eyes. You can get wearable day looks. You can get some really hot fire looks out of this. I did a look with this red all over. Oh, I just can't. Favorite. This is going to be, I would say, in my top 5 favorite palettes of all time even. That's what I'm going to say right now, but definitely my favorite that she has ever done. I think she knocked it out of the park. She outdid herself when she made this palette. Another thing from Charlotte Tilbury. So this has not replaced my Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer, but it has definitely made its way into my daily drawer. As you can see, I've used a little bit, just a little bit of this product. I love the way this looks underneath the eye, and this has been my new go-to over, like, I haven't picked up the Tarte Shape Tape other than to prime my eyes, and I don't even know how long. That's crazy to me because that was my daily concealer, and now this one is the one that I reach for when I want just a little bit thicker, hydrating coverage. It's like, someone said it's like spandex because the way it, like, I don't know, it does. It feels kind of like a concealer that's a spandex. It just stretches and it's amazing. I used this the very last day at Nordstrom on my very last client, and I was so impressed how it looked on her too. And I think this is one of the best concealers ever made. And for reference, anybody who is wondering, I use the shade 4, and the actual name of this Charlotte Tilbury concealer is the Magic Away Liquid Concealer. A new powder that I have been loving. I do really like the Charlotte Tilbury one, but again, cornstarch, I haven't been continuously using that one. This one here, we had a little dirty, let me wipe it off. This is from Linda Hallberg Cosmetics. She recently released the Infinity Filter Loose Setting Powder. It comes in 3 different shades. I have the shade Light, and this, I finally figured out what it reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of the Chanel Loose. I was going back and forth with them trying to see if that's what it was, and it is. It reminds me of the Chanel Loose, but this one's just like a little bit more velvety and skin-like. It's not drying at all. It makes you look like you have a filter on your face. It looks like matte, but not a dry matte, like a natural matte. It is so stinking pretty. I think she really did a great job with the formulation on this powder. I've got 2 lip products, and neither one of them are liners or lipsticks because, to be completely honest, I was using my Rimmel number 49 and my SS19 from Tom Ford pretty much all the time, and I've already talked about those. So I want to talk about these 2 glosses, and both of them are sparkly. But I don't know, it doesn't seem like something that would be my typical go-to, but I've been wearing these so much, especially this one because I've had it longer. This is the Fenty Beauty Diamond Milk Gloss Balm. I have been wearing this on top of lipsticks, and I've been wearing it alone. I recently did a look with the Amethyst palette. It's on my Instagram. I'll probably just insert a picture. I wore just this on my lips. It just looked so nice because it's like a clear gloss, but it has that reflection to it that gives it that little extra that you need to complete the look. It looks so wet. I love the formula on these. I love the original, and I love this one as well. So pretty. Now this one was unexpected. This is from Marc Jacobs, and I recently reviewed this one. It is the Enamored High Shine Gloss in Shine A Light. When I was looking at the website, I thought this was straight up gold, but it's not. And I have been wearing this the most, just basically on its own. Like I do like it on other things, but I like it the most by itself because it gives me just a little bit of color. Again, I have a little bit of the glitter in there, but it's not like chunky glitter. Neither one of them are. And it's beautiful. It is so stunning, you guys. Let me see if I can I know the other one's just going to show up clear, but it reflects like gold, not purple, and like this peachy pink. It's just so pretty. I love it so much, and it feels just like the other glosses, but this one, again, it does have glitter in it. It's not chunky or gritty or anything, but it is definitely there. I don't know, it doesn't bother me. I can tell you that much. There are some that have glitter and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't like the feeling and I want it off my lips, but both of these have been amazing. So that is it for the products that I have been loving this month. Now let's get into the products that I haven't been loving, and there's actually quite a few. So I'm gonna start off with this one from Becca. I'm sorry, Becca. I feel like this brand has been super inconsistent recently. I don't know what's going on, but I'm talking about the Volcano Goddess palette. I don't know why I was drawn into this palette. I thought it was something very new for the brand and I wanted to try it out. I wanted to like this, and I've tried it again and I still feel the same. Like I feel like these do not perform. The swatches looked so much better. These kind of hit hard pan. These barely show up. The only color that I really like is this one right here, which I have had in other palettes. So I've contemplated like just giving this away. I don't know what I want to do with it, but I'm very disappointed in the quality of this palette. And if you want to see that in action, I used it in a Get Ready With Me trying new products, as well as this one here. As you can see, I've tried this several times. This dries out my skin. And I'm not even using it consistently, I'm using it sparingly. And I talked about whenever I bought it that I wanted it to be kind of like MAC Fix Plus. And this is the BELIF Aqua Balm Mist. Everything Aqua Balm is really refreshing. It's hydrating and all that. So when I got this, I guess I should have looked at the ingredients beforehand, but I didn't. The second ingredient in here is alcohol. I'm not necessarily opposed to that. I know there's a lot of setting sprays that I have that have alcohol in it, and I don't mind. I just sparingly use them. This one I wanted for the purpose of putting into my purse, spraying my face, getting some extra hydration, but this one actually like legit dries me out. It does nothing good for my skin. Like when I first spray it, it's wet and it looks like it's hydrated, and then as soon as it dries down, I look cakey and dry, and I'm very disappointed in this. I wish they would have just left this as an actual hydrating spray, left the alcohol out of it, and I would have been really happy, but unfortunately this does not work for me at all. The next thing is something that was very expensive and I was very disappointed in it, and I got a lot of hate for this, but I don't care. I stand by my position on it, and it's the Natasha Denona Safari palette. I could not believe the patchiness in this palette, and I could not believe the lack of pigmentation. People were telling me that I was blending too much. I'm like, okay, so on the lid where I had the green, I packed that green on. There was no blending that away, and it literally just like fell off my eyes. The other colors I would try to pack on like I normally would and blend around the edges, and as soon as you blend around the edges, they would come off. I am not an over blender, I promise. And I don't think that I should have to use a palette that says it's the same matte formula as her other mattes or the one in the Tropic any differently than I have the other ones. I used it the same. I gave it 2 tries on camera, and I also tried it that night with no base and all that happened was I got dark edges. I don't know what happened with that palette. I think it's a complete and utter miss. I know a lot of you guys liked it, and if you liked it, that's awesome. Like, I'm not telling you, oh, well, you're wrong. You're using the palette, it's working for you, and that's amazing, but for me, it did not work, and $129, I'm not going to put in that much effort. And I thought my eyes looked terrible. My husband, this was the funniest story. So I sent him the picture of my eye right after I got it. And I was like, this is what $129 looks like. Well, when he got home, he was like, why are you mad? He was like, what did you expect from drugstore? I'm not dissing drugstore. That's just what he said. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, wait, you meant $129. I said, yes. He goes, I thought that you just forgot to put the little decimal in between the 129. I was like, no, it's Natasha Denona. He goes, oh. So that's that. Don't like the palette, and I don't think it's worth it, and I don't suggest it. The end. Anywho, that is it for my favorites and fails for the month of September. Let me know what you have been loving and not loving, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.